Hey guys, it's Drew here. What's up? Quick video blog. I just want to do this post. I want to talk about why is it that some black Americans, I'm not going to lump y'all in and, you know, generalize y'all, but some of you black Americans, right, that are not from the Caribbean, you don't have family straight from Africa or whatnot, you tell those of us who do, and those of us who are secure financially, we're successful, we've found a way to make it here in the United States. You tell those of us who are here that we're not allowed to have an opinion on black American issues. You tell us to keep quiet if we don't, if we weren't, if we, you tell us to keep quiet if we don't have ancestors that were enslaved. You tell us to keep quiet about Juneteenth. Don't talk about Juneteenth. Don't talk about Black Lives Matter. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that, because you know what? You are not one of those people whose ancestors went through slavery. Okay. But here's the thing. Look, if you're really looking to grow, if you're really looking to be successful in anything, why wouldn't you take advice from people who have done it? Why? Why does somebody have to be exactly from an ancestry of slavery for you guys to listen to what we have to say? And to me, it doesn't matter. Like, whether you listen to me or not, like, you see my lifestyle. Whether you listen to me or not, this is how I'm living. This is how my people live. You know what I mean? This is the reality I've created. Whether you listen to me or not, this is going to be my reality. Okay? Whether you listen to me or not, this is going to be my reality. I sound like a broken record, because you know why it needs to be said so often? Because y'all don't get it. The world does not wait for you guys to hear the message the way that you want to hear it. Sometimes it's going to come from sources that you don't approve of. And if you don't have enough humility to listen to sources that you don't approve of, even if they're saying something sensible, even if they're saying something that's meaningful, even if they're saying something that makes sense, if you don't have enough humility to listen to that, or to be corrected, or if you don't have enough humility to accept wisdom when you hear it, then you don't deserve the results of the wisdom. You don't deserve the fruits of wisdom. You don't deserve the fruits of prudence if you're not willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not saying that I'm the ultimate source of wisdom, but what I'm saying is that you got to listen to people. You got to listen to people who have actually done it, not just people who make you feel good. People often say, oh, if your family's not from slavery, if you're not like, one of these people who has ancestors that went through slavery don't talk about black issues. No, I'm going to talk about black issues. You know why? Because every single time anything happens, y'all are the first people to be like, oh, just remember you're black, as if I need a reminder. I know that I'm black. I love the fact that I'm a black man. But y'all always remind us that we're black whenever we're doing something great, you're like, oh, by the way, did you guys know that you're black? Like, yeah, we know that we're black. But why is it that when we want to comment on how we got there, on what makes us successful, you're like, oh, don't talk. We don't want to hear that. You ain't black enough. We don't want to hear that. But when we're talking about that we made it, and we're talking about that we happy, and we're talking about here's the solutions and here's how you do it, you say, oh, you're not black enough. So it's weird. It's like we're black enough to the point where y'all want to remind us when we're actually prospering, but we're not black enough to tell you how we prospered, despite the fact that we're black in America. It's like y'all pick and choose when you really want to listen. It's like you and I'm not making this video to criticize, because I know that criticism doesn't really go far when you want to reach people, and when you want people to hear what you're saying, and you want people to heed what you're saying. Again, to me, it makes no difference. What you see behind me, the mansion that you see behind me, is the result of my choices and my decisions, because I was not given this. I was not handed this. I had to work for this, and I still work to maintain it. Okay? So these are the results of my decisions. Okay? So as a black man, these are the results of my decisions. I'm trying to tell you that there are certain decisions, there's certain mindsets, there are certain ways of thinking that lead you to such a lifestyle. Okay? And I'm not just talking about just a house. I'm not just talking about just material items. I'm talking about a good relationship with my black fiance, for example, that's soon to be my wife, right? We're getting married in October. A good relationship with her. I honor her under the covenant of God. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to make things work. Okay? There's a way to make things work. I don't necessarily have to be of the same history, of the same ancestral history for me to share with you what works. Somebody commented under my other video, those who are not from, black American families or black American, you know, backgrounds should not talk about the plight of black Americans. When I was simply saying in the video, like, look, one of the best ways that you can help your community as a black person is simply by honoring your wife under the covenant of God, honoring that woman under the covenant of God. You know why? Because that builds strong children, it builds a peaceful household, and happy wife, happy life. This is a universal ideal, regardless if you're black, Asian, whatever. This is a universal ideal. The Bible says it, So look, I follow the Bible, okay? And through following the Bible and through following the principles that King Solomon wrote in Proverbs, I was able to build wealth. I was able to build success. I'm able to establish relationships and whatnot because we're centered around God. We're united around God. If you don't have that central uniting figure in your family and you are the only central uniting figure and you're not anchored to something bigger than yourself, it's destined for failure because all men and all human beings have the potential and the tendency to sin and to fall into transgressions. Okay? The way that you pull yourself out is by staying anchored to something bigger than you. I stay anchored to God. So now when I start slipping and I start going towards my old ways of being angry, rage, whatever, procrastination, anything that could pull me back, I'm anchored to God. So I have to check in with God each time. I have to check in with the Bible each time. Okay. And it's that practice that keeps me aligned because you're gonna fall off you're gonna fall to the left. You're gonna fall to the right sometimes. But if you're anchored, you always get pulled back towards correction. Now a lot of people don't want to talk about Christianity and they don't want to talk about God because you know what? They feel like God is the white man's this and the white man's that, or the white man forced his religion on you and the white man did this and the white man did that. Look, saying that the white man did this, the white man did that, the Asian man did this, the Asian man did this, the Indian man, it doesn't matter. That's not going to change anything. That's not going to put you in a position like I'm in. That's not going to put you in that position. I tell you right now, that was not my mentality. And almost all the people that I've grown up with without even an exception who have this like black versus white mentality, a lot of them can't succeed. And a lot of them it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They can't succeed because they have divisive mindsets. They don't have mindsets that want to unify and build, so they can't succeed. But because they can't succeed, they blame it on more they blame it on more racism and they blame it on more things. When it's really the fact that they just simply are divisive mentally and they don't get along with people. You see what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm not, and then the first thing a lot of these people say to me is like, okay, you're tap dancing for the white man. How? I'm self-employed. I own 3 companies. I'm a co-owner of a 4th company. How? Who am I tap dancing for? Only person I tap dance for, kneel for, and pray to is God, period. That's it. But there's a way to do things. There's a way to succeed in life. And one of the ways by doing so is by heeding wisdom. And if you can't heed wisdom because the person's ancestors didn't go through slavery, because the person doesn't look like you know how much wisdom I've picked up from just reading Robert T. Kiyosaki, Watchman Nee, Tony Robbins. I read Watchman Nee, The Spiritual Man, right? I read a book by Rebecca Brown, MD. Not all these people are black. Not all these people are black men, but you know what? Wisdom is wisdom. So I picked up wisdom from some of these books. I pick up wisdom from praying and communing with God. These are things that help you as a man, and then when you are helped as a man, when you're enabled as a man to do what is righteous, it ripples outwards towards the community. This is why strong communities require strong men, because men are supposed to be the head of the household. And then God is supposed to be the head of the man. So it goes God, man, then the woman is supposed to nurture and care for the children. Men is supposed to care for the woman. And it's supposed to be, and then obviously, if you're building strong, nurtured children, what are you building? You're building a community of strong, nurtured people. That's how it works. There's a process to these things, but you're never gonna get the process if you turn your ears off to it. And that's what it is. And that's all I got to say. So I don't care if I'm Nigerian. It doesn't matter. I can comment on these things because I have intelligence, I have wisdom, I have lived experience that I can share with people who want to learn, at the end of the day. But if you're going to be foolish and you don't want to learn and you don't want to trade ideas and you don't want to exchange wisdom and you don't want to exchange understanding and you don't want to grow, and you don't want to put yourself in a position to help your community, then you should keep your mouth closed, not me. Because at the end of the day, I'm sharing things that will help people. I'm not sharing things that are going to divide people. I'm sharing things that are going to help people. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep my mouth closed. I don't care which person tells me that I can't talk about something because I don't come from slavery. I don't come from slavery, good, but doesn't mean I haven't had my own fair share of struggles. And by the way, none of you people who are born today come from slavery. Your ancestors do. You don't come from slavery. You have no excuse. Y'all need to get your stuff together and stop worrying about what your ancestors did. Worry about what you're doing, because you're going to be somebody's ancestors one day. And you do not want them saying that you, as their ancestor, didn't amount to nothing. You know, you don't want that, do you? Exactly. So stop worrying about what your ancestors did, because you're going to be somebody's ancestors one day. Worry about what you're doing so you can build for a brighter future. That's all I got to say. God bless. Peace.